Hi guys, it's Oxford fan number one here, and welcome to the new series, episode 1 of This Past Week in Football. We're going to do something that modern sports media rarely does. We're going to slow down. If you're a fan who thinks football starts and ends with the Premier League top 6, you're in for a shock. This show's for the fans who want to know what's happening in the frozen outposts of the Arctic Circle, the boardrooms where the magic of the FA Cup is being auctioned off, and the car parks where multi-million-pound transfers go to die. This week has been particularly chaotic. We've seen the Carabao Cup semi-final that felt more like a chess match with boxing gloves on. We've seen a transfer deadline that left stars like Dwight McNeil stranded. We've seen Amanda and Swindon declare war on artificial intelligence, and a village in Luxembourg that is punching so far above its weight it's starting to get dizzy. But we aren't just here for the headlines. We're here for the human cost of the game, the politics, the prices, and the pure unadulterated weirdness of a sport where a player can sign for 3 clubs in 3 countries in a single year. Grab your coffee, pull up a chair. This is your week in football. The Carabao chess match, Arsenal versus Man City. We start at the summit. The road to Wembley is officially paved. The Carabao Cup final is set for March 22nd. Arsenal versus Manchester City. Arsenal finished the job on Tuesday at the Emirates against Chelsea. It was cagey and tactical, but in the 97th minute, Kai Havertz, the man who won Chelsea a Champions League, became the man who knocked them out. But the real drama was on the touchline. Chelsea boss Liam Rosenior was fuming, accusing Arsenal staff of disrespect for encroaching on his team's half during the warm-up. He called it a calculated psychological ploy. Mikel Arteta's response, a very dry, "We apologise." Then on Wednesday, City showed Newcastle why they are the kings of this competition. Omar Marmoush, the Egyptian sensation, we'll talk more about that later, scored twice in a 3-1 win. But there's a massive catch for the final. City's new £60 million man, Mark Guéhi, is cup-tied. Pep Guardiola spent 10 minutes at his press conference complaining about the fairness of the rules, while Eddie Howe had to defend his own future at Newcastle amid rumours he could replace Thomas Tuchel as England manager just this summer. The elite level is never just about football, is it? Deadline day, the paperwork graveyard. The window closed on Monday, while Antoine Semenyo joins City for £65 million and Jorgen Strand Larsen moves to Palace for a club record fee. Spare a thought for the victims of the clock. Dwight McNeil thought he was heading to Crystal Palace. His bags were packed, he'd done the medical, he'd even taken the holding the shirt photos, but the paperwork was filed late. Palace literally missed the portal. McNeil had to drive 4 hours back to Everton in the middle of the night. Then there's Raheem Sterling. As of 6 p.m. tonight, a massive door slams shut. Sterling is a free agent. If he doesn't find a club by the end of the day, he cannot register for the Premier League for the rest of the season. One of the most decorated English players of all time could be spending his Saturdays on the sofa until July. Meanwhile, John Duran has just signed for his 3rd club in a year, moving from Saudi Arabia to Turkey, and now on a plane to Zenit St. Petersburg in Russia. He's 22, earns £321,000 a week, and has lived in 4 countries in 12 months. He's not a footballer, he's a professional tourist with a great strike rate. The rise of the Egyptian King 2.0. Let's talk about Omar Marmoush. If you aren't watching this guy, you are missing out. His journey is the definition of a slow burn. He arrived in Europe at Wolfsburg as a teenager, went on loan to St. Pauli and Stuttgart, and finally exploded at Eintracht Frankfurt. When City signed him in January 2025, people questioned if he could handle the step up. Fast forward to this week, he's the first player since 2015 to score 5 goals against Newcastle in a single season. He's 26, right-footed, but he plays with tenacity that makes him a nightmare for defenders. He isn't just a goal scorer, he's a pressing machine. In a 3-1 win over Newcastle, he was giving a 9.0 rating. With Erling Haaland often rested for the big Champions League games, Marmoush has become Pep's ultimate Swiss Army knife. He's the reason City didn't panic when they lost Julian Alvarez. Pochettino versus Weah. We are not politicians. Now let's go across the Atlantic for some serious off-pitch friction. Mauricio Pochettino, the USMNT manager, has officially clapped back at his own player, Tim Weah. Weah made headlines earlier this week by slamming the ticket prices for the 2026 World Cup, calling them too expensive and worrying that real fans will be priced out. And he's not wrong. Category 1 tickets for the final are being listed for $8,680, but Pochettino wasn't having it. In a press conference from Florida, he told Weah to talk on the pitch and outside of it. He said, "It is not his duty to evaluate the price of the ticket. We are not politicians. It's a fascinating divide. You have a young player trying to connect with the working class roots of the game, and a manager who's clearly under pressure from FIFA and the Federation to keep his mouth shut. Who do you side with? The player looking out for the fans or the coach trying to block out the noise? The death of the Magic, FA Cup seeding. In the women's game, a storm is brewing. On Wednesday, reports emerged that the FA is considering a seeding system for the Women's FA Cup. Under these proposals, the top 4 WSL teams, likely Chelsea, Arsenal, Man City and Man United, will be seeded so they avoid each other until the later rounds. They're even talking about a Road to Wembley bracket that would eliminate the live draw for the quarterfinals and semi-finals altogether. The backlash has been instant. Supporters groups, including Man City's own official women's supporters club, have vehemently opposed the idea. They say it kills the magic of the cup. The FA says it's about commercial potential and the consistent high-quality matches, but lower league managers like Chris Hames at Hull City say it's just another way to ensure the rich stay rich. If the FA Cup isn't a giant killing, what is it for? We're watching the slow erosion of sporting merit in favour of broadcast revenue, and it's a dangerous path to walk. The Terminator and the minus marks. Let's slice now with some League 2 madness. Ian Holloway is back at Swindon Town, and he's currently at war with the machines. Swindon were disqualified from the Virtue Trophy this week because they played 2 ineligible players. Holloway's response? I've watched the Terminator. The computer lied. Skynet is here. Meanwhile, in San Marino, the club in Murata is making history. They are one of 2 professional clubs in Europe currently on minus 2 points. They were hit with a negative 9-point deduction for an illegal partnership with a fictional Brazilian academy. They've played 18 games, lost 13 and are sitting in the negatives. Imagine the team talk. Come on lads, if we win today, we're only 1 point away from 0 points. It's the ultimate test of a fan's loyalty. Oxford United, the identity transplant. For our club in focus, we look at Oxford United. Matt Broomfield has performed surgery on the squad this week. Phillips, Bradshaw, Thornley, Krastev, all gone. In their place, he's brought in youth and pure, unadulterated pace. Adamola Maku from Millwall and Ruben Ruskin from Huddersfield are the headline arrivals. Oxford are 23rd in the Championship, 5 points from safety. This isn't just a transfer window, it's a total gamble on a reset. They play Coventry tomorrow. If we win, Bloomfield is a genius who trimmed the fat. If we lose, we'll be asking why he let the experience walk out of the door in the middle of a relegation battle. A 3:01pm kickoff. Finally, if you're at a game tomorrow, the 1 minute delay to kick off is part of the Heart Month, led by Tom Lockyer. The campaign aims to train 500,000 fans in CPR. That 60-second delay is a reminder that every minute counts when a heart stops. It's a rare moment where football actually stops to talk about something more important than just the league table. And that's episode 1. It's a bit shorter than I was expecting it. Only, 8-9 minutes long? But from the heartbreak of Dwight McNeil in a rainy car park to the Terminator fears of Ian Holloway and the controversy over $8,000 World Cup tickets, that was your week in football. The weekend ahead is a monster. Liverpool versus Manchester City at Anfield. Second versus, 6th is it? But a big game for both. Oxford versus Coventry, a survival test, and a happy 22nd birthday to Adam Wharton, who returns to the Palace lineup tomorrow for the M23 derby against Brighton. I'll be back next Friday to pick up the pieces and find the stories everyone else missed. I've been your host. Take care of each other, learn your CPR, and as always, come on you use!